Good morning, and yes, it is morning. See the natural light over here? Ow, natural glare. This will be a DeckTeck video for my Omnath EDH deck. Yay! So, this is Omnath. Again, webcam video very crappy, and you're not going to be able to read the text, but who cares? This is Omnath Locus of Mana. He costs 2 and a green. He is a legendary creature elemental. And his rule text says, green mana doesn't empty from your mana pool as steps and phases end. Omnath Locus of Mana gets +1/+1 for each green mana in your mana pool. Flavor text is, it gathers against the coming storm. Which is pretty sick, because if you watch Doctor Who, the oncoming storm. Oh yeah. This is the only foil version I could get was the from the vault version, and the from the vault version is foiled very strangely, and god damn it. Gosh darn it. So I don't like it, but it's double sleeved in a dragon shield, I think. I didn't have KMC at the time. I like KMC. I prefer KMC at all times. It's double sleeved and in a top loader, so it doesn't really matter how it's foiled. But for EDH, stupid crap like that matters for some reason. So that's unfortunate. But as it is, this is sweet. Let's see, quick rundown of why Omnath is my EDH, or sorry, my commander, because I'm greedy, and I like big mana. This was, when I first got into EDH, I wanted to make 2 decks. One was Mirko Vosk, blue-black, because I'm sure I'll do a video about that later. It was Mirko Vosk because, oh my goodness, mill in EDH is funny, and I'm dirtily like that, and I remember Limited being destroyed by Mirko Vosk, so I like Mirko Vosk a lot, and I have replaced him since, but we'll get into that later, maybe, I don't know. At any rate, this is Omnath, and he is super sweet. Let's keep him in frame for the rest of the video. So EDH is a 100-card singleton format, and it's basically 99 cards plus the commander. Singleton meaning you can only have one copy of each basic land card in your deck, which is fine by me, because there's just a huge card pool. There are a few restrictions. Sylvan Primordial used to be in this. I think Primeval Titan really wants to be in this, but, you know, broken. Let's see here. Omnath, Yeah, the beauty of Omnath is, normally, when phases end, like when you go from combat to main phase, your mana pool will empty. And back then there was mana burn, that's why Eladamri's Vineyard was kind of good, but no, not here. And this allows you to accrue mana, like, over time, and do it between turns and all that stuff. So you can have like only 5 lands, but after 3 turns, that's 15 mana, and all that jazz. The Crufix from Crufix from Journey to Nyx's Fame has the same kind of effect that allows you to keep mana throughout phases, and I'm working on building that deck as well. But this one's actually complete, so I'll talk about that. This section will be about let's see, what is it? Sweet creatures. Eva, Nature's Herald, legendary creature, elf shaman, flash. You may cast green creature cards as though they had flash. I can call an army to my side in the blink of an eye. You best not blink. I don't think she said it that ghetto, but that's fine. That's cool, because I'm mono green here. Oh, color identity. I can only play green cards or colorless cards. Nothing that has other colors in it. So no activated abilities that have red or whatever, or no Burning Tree Emissaries since those are red and all that jazz. Another sweet creature would be Viridian Corruptor. 2/2 infect. When Viridian Corruptor enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. Also an elf. Elves are gonna be important once I show my mana dorks. Brutalizer Exarch is a utility card. It costs 6. It doesn't actually matter how much my cards cost because I have big mana. When Brutalizer Exarch comes into the battlefield, choose one, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, then shuffle your library, put it in top of it. So kind of vampiric tutoring for a creature. Or put target non-creature permanent on the bottom of its owner's library. Usually it's the second mode of this card that's being used. And typically, I really want to cut this card. I want something better. Don't know what yet, but I want something that's not this crap card. Because there's a lot of games where I see it in my hand, I'm like, I kind of just don't want this right now. Vorapede is a 5/4 vigilance for 5. It's just costed really well, that's why it's here. And you know, it has 3 green devotion, which is going to be relevant when I show things like Nykthos or Reverend Hunter. I don't have Primal Crux. I think that's the card that's like 6 green. I don't have that card. I wish I did. Let's see, Reverend Hunter. Oh hey, speaking of which, Reverend Hunter, when it enters the battlefield, puts X some number of counters on him. It is triggered, so it does die to Spark Jolt on the stack. I mean when the trigger's on the stack, but it's EDH, so this guy's usually like a 17/17 win more card, and that's awesome. Fauna Shaman, it is survival on a stick, because that's broken. Elvish Piper, another elf. It gets me, lets me cheat in my fatties, which I'll show you later, like my fatties, because sometimes I want to cast 2 of them on a turn, and like 25 mana is hard to get to. Arbor Colossus, I don't know why. It's a 6/6 for 5. It's, you know, great stats. It has 3 green pips, and that's about it. Yavimaya Elder. I don't know what order I'm stacking these in. It's just an order. Yavimaya Elder. When Yavimaya Elder is put into a graveyard from play, you may search your library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal them, and put them into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. It's a 2/1, and you can pay 2, sack him, draw a card. So he's so useful. You pay 2, you sack him. The trigger, the enter the graveyard trigger, happens, and you search for 2 lands, shuffle up, which is annoying in EDH, and then you draw a card. So those are my sweet cards. Oh yay, the sun's gone, and hey, that was right on the Phoenix Moon. That's awesome. So that was my sweet cards, sweet creatures, and these are my sweet spells. Primal Command, cause it's green. Bow of Nylea, because it's green. There's two green pips. It's, you know, it has a lot of utility around it, so that's fine. Corrosive Grip, fantastic card. Very late add to this deck because I couldn't find one. Happy I did though, because split second, because destroy target Soul Ring, or rather destroy target. Oh, there's just so many broken artifacts or enchantments even. Eternal Witness. I did not put him with the creatures because he's basically regrowth. Regrowth is actually regrowth. It is revised because a friend of mine brought 2 revised packs at GP Sack, and they cost way too much. And fortunately, he did not know that apparently revised packs, you can like look through them because they're a little see-through to see if there are the dual lands. So if you're buying revised packs from a not sealed box, then they're most likely going to be crap. And within them was one of these regrowths, and I keep that in my deck as a reminder of fun times. Green Sun Zenith. It usually casts for 2 to find a mana dork like Findorn Elves, Elvish Mystic, or Llanowar Elves. But, you know, it's good work. It can find big fatties, fat bottom girls, all that stuff. Beast Within. The only removal card in the freaking deck, because it's green, and green doesn't do creature removal typically. It does non-creature removal. Because that card pie. Asceticism. It gives my guys hexproof and regenerates them, which is cool. Let's see. It doesn't work if they have Shroud, though, because it targets the creature. But, anyway. Lightning Greaves. That which gives Shroud. Don't care, because it gives Shroud, and it gives haste, and it's free, and Jesus Christ, that card is so good. I swear I had a foil one. Oh, no, it's in the other deck. I have a foil one of these from Mirrored, and it's in the other deck, and it's so good. Howling Mine. Because who doesn't want a group hug, right? And also, card draw is really bad in this deck. I need to change that, but who cares? So, the next one is the lands. Forests. And then Nykthos. I use only basics and only, let's see here. Let's see my pimped out basics. I got unhinged lands. I got foil. Oh, that's not foil. I got foil regular lands. I have two. Oh, sorry. I have Zendikar lands, and I have two unhinged lands. I use mainly forests because my mana doublers, which I'll show later, interact only with forest, and then the non-basics are kind of don't care anyway. The only non-basic I run is Nykthos and foil that Nykthos because it leads to crazy stuff, because I also have a Voicing Satyr in here, untap Nykthos, gain big mana, Omnath is 80/80, and that's cool. My mana doublers come here. Extraplanar Lens is maybe the most underwhelming of it because it gives me card disadvantage. Imprint. When Extraplanar Lens comes into play, you may exile target land you control from the game. So I would be exiling a forest there. And whenever a land with the same name as the imprinted card is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana to his or her mana pool of any type that that land produces. So this actually helps my opponents if they run forests. And if I were competitive, then I would be running all snow-covered forests to stop that. But I'm not. So, oh hey. So Gauntlets of Power. Now this is I'll talk about that later. Vernal Bloom, another one that helps my opponents as well. Whenever a forest is tapped for mana, it produces an additional green. Many cultures have legends of a lush hidden paradise. The elves of Argoth have no need for such stories. That's cool. So these two, they help my opponents if they run forests. If not, then it helps me, and that's great. Gauntlet of Power. As it comes into play, choose a color. I choose green. Whenever a basic land is tapped for mana, so that's why basic land, I use basic lands. Whenever basic land is tapped for mana of the chosen color, its controller adds 1 mana of that color to his or her mana pool. Doubles mana, but it also helps my opponent again. Cool. Caged Sun. As Caged Sun enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever a land's ability adds 1 or more mana of the chosen color to your mana pool, yes, add 1 additional mana of that color to your mana pool. So that'll even make Nykthos add 1 extra. And the Big Daddy itself, Doubling Cube, signed by Mark Teeden at GPSAC. It costs 2, and it costs 3 in tap, double the amount of each mana type in your mana pool. So the cube surface is pockmarked with jagged runes that seem to shift when unobserved. Ooh. So if you have, let's see, 4 makes it 2, 5 makes it 4, 6 makes it 6. If you have 6 or more open mana, or mana floating, then this becomes useful. If you have 7, you tap 3, you have 4 left, and that gets doubled to 8. Etc, 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 and it gets crazy because it's too bad I don't have like Voltaic Key to make this silly, but those are the mana doublers. And then, oh buddy, and then we have the good old ramp cards. Let's see here. Staple, Soul Ring, Mark Teeden signed, and let's see. Let's just drop these real quick. Okay. So these are creatures that actually produce mana. Let's start with the original cycle of Llanowar Elves, Findorn Elves, and Elvish Mystic. Functional reprints, they do that. And then we have Arbor Elf, which does very similar things, but since I have a lot of mana doublers, this is actually better than these two for the most part. For that same reason, Voicing Satyr does what Arbor Elf does, except it can also hit the Nykthos. And then we get into the weirder ones with Green Weaver Druid, which is just, 3, 4, 1, 1 that makes 2 instead of 1 like the other mana dorks. We have Moldiah Channelers, which is, let's see, you play with the top card of your library revealed. As long as the top card of your library is a creature card, this guy gets +3/+3, making him a 5/5 instead of a 2/2. I don't really care about that. As long as the top card of your library is a land, Moldiah Channeler has add 2 mana of any color to your mana pool. I really care about that. He's not super great since, he's rare because in limited a 5/5 for 3 is good, but whatever. And then the biggest ones there, Priestess of Titania. Oh, Priest of Titania. It's a girl though, whatever. Add green to your mana pool for each elf in play. Play its ability as a mana source. So it's elf in play because back in the day, you got benefit off of your opponent's creature types, like some goblins, say each goblin in play, and that kind of thing. So that's cool, I think. Yeah, anyway. I think Heedless One, or Reckless One and Heedless One are both like that. Good old, whenever the hell those cards were printed. So a lot of my mana dorks are elves. A lot of the creatures you saw earlier were elves. So that makes this guy tap for typically 5 or 6. And Elvish Archdruid is Priest of Titania on crack. Only adds to the elves you control, but that's what the new template does. Next. We have the non-fatty win cons. There are only 3 of them. How sad. So my win con typically is Omnath smashing in, but he doesn't come with trample, and that's just unfortunate. So I have things like this: Glaring Spotlights. Let's see, creatures you control. Creatures your opponents control with hexproof can be targeted spells or abilities that you control as though they didn't have hexproof. Not really great. I killed Sigarda one time with it because who plays Glaring Spotlight? Let's see. And then I can sack this. Creatures I control gain hexproof under turn and are unblockable this turn. More importantly, they're unblockable this turn. So that 80/80 Omnath that you've been jump blocking for days, so that's cool. The next one would be Rancor. It gives a trample. Trample, swing, lethal, commander damage. That's cool. Forget Aloro, because Aloro you have like 80 life, 21 commander damage. Scoop. And then there is Triumph of the Hordes. Until the end of turn, the creatures you control get +1/+1, gain trample, and infect. So that changes my 21 damage win con into a 10 damage win con. And sometimes, like, especially after a Genesis Wave, or a Genesis Wave, I'll have gone wide, and even if they have a bunch of chump blockers, then So those are the non-fatty win cons. And these next is mana sinks / win cons. First up is Tooth and Nail. Search for target Eldrazi, search for another target Eldrazi, put the 2 creatures onto the battlefield, and have fun. Now sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes I'll do like, it's usually a Craterhoof plus a card is when I Tooth and Nail. Another mana sink here is Primal Surge. The sweetest of sweet cards. Exile the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you do, repeat this process. Great, right? Okay, no. With Avacyn's return, the flow of life became a tidal wave. And the art is pretty sick. Like, this guy's summoning a thing and accidentally summons way too freaking much, which is awesome. However, I usually get like 3 permanents off of this card, and then I hit a sorcery. I don't run that many spells though, so that's why I like Primal not Problem Surge. That's why I like Genesis Wave better. And we've got another mana sink here, Tower of Calamities, the functionally better, or the strictly better Aladdin's Ring. It's a 4, mana 4, an artifact, and then you tap 8 to Tower of Calamities, deals 12 damage to target creature. And in my group, this basically just means pay 8, kill Kalia. Pay 8, kill Kalia. Pay 8, kill Kalia. Let's see, we have ourselves a World Spine Worm. Very underwhelming. Archetype of Endurance. I wish it were foil because it's a piece of crap card. But really good in EDH. Or sorry, Commander. Nylea, God of Hunts. This is another Tooth and Nail target because it's the only creature I can grab with Tooth and Nail or Green Sun Zenith that will give my Omnath Trample. I put it as a mana sink because it has a mana sink ability. Tap, pay 4, gets +2/+2. Kind of stupid, but you know, whatever. Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. This is also on one of the mana doublers, but he costs 8 and he's quite awesome, so I put him there. Wolfbear Elemental with a multi-kicker of green. This is where I go wide and then Triumph of the Hordes because I have like 10 wolf tokens. That's awesome. Mistcutter Hydra. X is 20. And let's see, there are Eldrazi's, Lightsteel Colossus, and yeah, this one's super heavily played. But that's fine. He's Trample, in fact. Lightsteel Colossus is indestructible. He makes games very unfun for people, and that's my job. Genesis Wave. Reveal. Okay, it's X green. Sorcery. Reveal the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of permanent cards with converted mana cost X or less from among them into the battlefield. Then put all cards revealed this way that weren't put into the battlefield onto your graveyard. So sorceries are fine because this usually goes for 10 plus. Sorry, 15 plus. I've done it for 30 before, and it took me forever to resolve all the enter the battlefield triggers, because, you know, enter the battlefield triggers. Arson of Kozilek, Recursion, sure, why not? It that betrays. Whenever an opponent sacrifices non-token permanent, that put that card on the battlefield under your control. I mean, if I'm already stealing the permanents, this effect is a win more. But why not win more, right? Craterhoof Behemoth, because Ulamog and Kozilek, because what's his face? Spaghetti Monster is banned, and that's unfortunate. Because Spaghetti Monster is banned. Like, if in a perfect world it would be, oh, sorry, cruel feeding. It would be Emrakul as well, but that's not the case. So bye bye. He will go on Modern someday, hopefully soon. Oh shoot. Woo. Anyway, those are the big fatties, and they make people scoop. That is my DeckTeck video for Mono Green, Omnath, Big Mana, whatever you want to call it, because I didn't put a name to it. And hope you enjoyed. Hope you build an EDH deck as well.